tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove. Synchronized slip now, we're on the move.
Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time.
Talking gold and silver and crypto too. With Joe and the gang, it's what we do.
Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time. We're stacking sats, we're stacking gold. In the world of finance, real gold. Every sip, every chart, we're on our way to financial freedom, come what may.
So grab that tasty beverage, let's get in the groove. Synchronized slurp now, we're on the move.
Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time. Good morning, stackers. Yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, stackers. It's podcast time.
Will Bitcoin pump or grab here? What am I even talking about? We'll get to that. Of course, we'll do live gold, silver analysis, precious metals, lots of crypto stuff. It's just all happening here. And look, of course, if you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. But if you're watching live, geez, man, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers. With me, Joe Main, random dude coming from Melbourne in Australia, live on X and on YouTube right now. But of course, we do the synchronized slip. I've got my Crypto Joe mug here today with my face on it. Someone made it for me many moons ago. If you're watching, g'day to you. And we do the synchronized slurp. You grab a tasty beverage. I grab my tasty beverage. We slurp them synchronously together. It is the honor system. You must do it audibly. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, once again, non-fluoridated, slightly Celtic salted water. Did you know that the show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. You'll probably hear a little bit more of those from those lovely brand sponsors sometime during this amazing live show. Let's get some shout outs out the way and get to it. Niels Hahn Dynasty says, buy silver and crystallize osmium, blah, blah, blah. I've never heard you say that before. Neil, that's a new one from you. Richard Pin, GMS, 96,000 threshold reached. Let's hold it. Pretty much. GMS, TGI Friday. It is Friday. Fantastic. Good to know, people. Morning, Joe, says Jason Ashworth. Morning, Jason. Good to see you. Morning, Stackers. Yeah, man. It's so good to see so many people here. You're all here now. You're all coming in. You know why? Because I started the stream a couple of minutes early so I could get the theme song out of the way and that, but you have to hear the theme song. Don't you miss it when you miss the theme, the theme song? It's so funky, isn't it? Morning, Joe, says Silver Ruger, and g'day. Hi, everyone. I think we should just get straight into it. Screw the stragglers. They can come in late. Is Bitcoin... Let me start again. Will Bitcoin pump or grab here? Is it going to pump or is it going to grab? What the hell am I even talking about? We'll take a look at the Bitcoin price right now. I'll share the screen. We'll also do, precious metals, all that kind of stuff too. Get your chart requests ready. If you have one for me, I will, of course, give precedence, or preference, I should say, preference to super chats. Of course, super chats help the show, support it, and all that kind of stuff. Dirty, greedy capitalist that I am. Let's share the screen. Couple of things first. Could you please follow me over here on X. That would be really appreciated. Okay, if you have an X account, just give me a little follow. It's really easy. It's at x.com/itsjoemain because I post more than just show stuff. Okay, I get a little extra spicy sometimes. It's kind of fun. I'm not talking OnlyFans spicy. I mean other kind of spicy. Although I reckon if I started an OnlyFans, you guys would just be all over it. And could you please follow me here at facebook.com/thejoemain. It was the only username that I could find, that was available, thejoemain. I know it's a bit egotistical. I didn't mean it to be, because once I get to 100 followers, it's a new one that I've started. Once I get to 100 followers, I can actually stream live on Facebook as well, because if you kind of prefer that, if you're not a YouTube or X fan, go to do the thing that that you like. So get me to over 100. Can you at least do that for me if you're watching? However many people watch, just give me a little follow at facebook.com/thejoemain. That would be great. Let's do it, people. I will pop all this stuff off and then we'll take a look at that. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, priced in USD 96,300. We've done it. We have cracked over the resistance level. But here's the question. Will it pump from here? Or will it grab here? What am I talking about? Number one, let's just quickly go in or zoom in to see where we are at. Okay, so we have broken over major resistance, 96,000. Technically, on using the Bitstamp exchange price, it was the Fibonacci from this high and hang on a second. From this high and this low. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me go. It's the other way around. Let me show you right here. It's this high and this low. So I think I may have had my chart on a little bit wrong before. The one that I posted on X was slightly wrong. So it's funny how that Fibonacci lines up exactly the same anyway, pretty much. So it's right here at 95,800, call it $96,000. We have broken through it. So from this high and this low, that's a good start. Okay, good to see that we have pumped above it. It needs to stay above. Why? Okay. What do I mean by pump or grab? Well, the pump would be, hey, if it stays over 96,000, then it could pump to the next level right here. And probably, I would suggest, and many people are, if you pump a little bit higher, you come back to test that as support, then it does that. The pump will continue, and then we are, almost all of us are probably pretty damn excited for crypto in 2025. Bitcoin will continue to do that, very likely. If this, then that. Okay. However, it could also be a grab. What's a grab? A grabbing of liquidity. Okay. You have to be very wary of this right about here. Okay. You have a whole bunch of buyers that have trapped money right here. Okay. All of them. Okay. Lots of buyers. Okay. Buyers. It looks like the battle is possibly won. Okay. We've gotten through that area here. But what people do is you've got a whole bunch of people who are shorting, Bitcoin. You have people who may have put in shorts around about here. Shorting is placing a bet that the underlying asset will go down in price. So when it goes down in price, you are making money. But just like any good trader should do, if you place a bet, you need to stop your loss just in case. So in the normal side of things, you would be buying, you're going long, you're buying, I think the price is going to go up. And then you set a little stop loss and you go, but if it gets below here or wherever you set it, it's going to automatically trigger the order to sell everything. Okay, so if it gets down to here, it might sell. However, what you can have is a grabbing of that liquidity. You can do it on the underside. I've mentioned this many times before. People buying here may have put a stop loss around about here. Now, if that happened, that could come down and, it's grabbed my stop loss, okay. But it's just a grab and it's not a continuation of the trend. So the assets go to support and resistance levels and then do one of two things. They either continue the trend or they grab the liquidity and then they keep going in that opposite direction. Okay, so for example, you might see, and the question is here, is this a liquidity grab? Is there a bunch of people that have placed stop losses, placed shorting around about this level? They think, that 96,000 key Fibonacci level, the 0.618 from this high and this low. So there'd be a lot of people who are taking the short position Right there, they're betting that it's going to go down. And what does the market do? It will shake you out as much as humanly possible. That's what it does. Call that market manipulation, call that just natural, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It does happen. Excuse me. So the question now is this little pump here to 97,350, is that a continuation of this spread thing? Okay. Or is it just going, I'm just going to sneakily grab all their stop losses? Because if you placed a short position right about here, your stop loss is going to be somewhere around here. You're not going to put it up here. That's a massive loss. You want to lose very small. Okay. So your stop loss will be around about this area here. So that's the question we don't know. Okay, so will it pump or will it grab here? Short answer is I don't know. You need to be very, very careful of this. If you're getting into a position just because it's broken this $96,000 area, you need to be very aware that you may lose. Short answer, because stop losses are taken, liquidity is grabbed, and then it's just back down. Okay, so what would say that potentially this is a liquidity grab? You want to look at divergence. Do we have any divergence? So nothing's telling me 100% either way that it is going to happen. Okay, but let's just look at the potentials. So right here on the 4-hour time frame, I guess an argument could be made that it is a bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Okay, the reason being you've got the price moving up here. Okay, so number go up, but relative strength index go down. Okay, you can see that clearly. Although we haven't yet, I guess, decided yet, is that the pivot point? So can we say that that is the exact point? So number go up, relative strength index go down. It's not exact, doesn't work exactly like that, but you could say potential bearish divergence. On the opposite, some people might be saying, hey, this was the bearish divergence right here. There to there was the bearish divergence. And then we did see a bit of a price dip. Okay. Some people would be saying, hey, watch out for the hidden bullish divergence. And that's where you get this, my lovely divergence cheat sheet that babypips.com created a while ago. You've got regular divergence, you've got hidden divergence. And that's where a bullish hidden divergence or hidden bullish divergence is a higher low in the price and a lower low in the oscillator that you're using. Most people use relative strength index or use OBV, on balance volume. They'll use something like the relative strength as well, which is different to relative strength index. But anyway, let me show you right here. Do we have any incidents of higher low and lower low? Well, yeah, we kind of do. You've got this here. Okay, that's looking, now I won't put it through the spikes. Someone very, very smart on the Mastering the Markets Academy, which I'll show you very soon, said, traditionally you don't really put them at the spikes, you put them at closes. Okay, so I'll put them at the closes. Right there, definite uptrend, and then, so that's a higher low, and then you've got lower low on the relative strength index. So that could be seen to be the case. Or if you take it into a bit of a smaller time frame, could you say that is the higher low, and that is, where are we there? And that's the lower low. Well, yes, you could say that in both counts. So potential hidden bullish divergence. Short answer is we don't know. Here's what you need to see. Okay, very clearly, you just need to hold that 96K. And all you need to see is the following. Let's just do this. Let me pop you onto the daily time frame. We just need to see the following. Do something like that. Pick a point. Come back, test as support, and as I said before, do that, and then golden. That's it. If we reject there, and if we break back down below 96K roughly, around this area, and do that, and then you break that, not good. That would say decent top for a little bit is in. Doesn't mean the full top forever is in, but if you do that, and then break there and head down, okay, then you're heading down further, and probably I would suggest down to at least around about $88,000. So just be careful buying here. Okay, have a stop loss in place and make it a very tight stop loss. And if you see that happen right there, if it breaks the 94,500 area roughly, I'd be taking that loss and just take it on the chin and expect a move down, probably to at least 88,000. And who knows, this could be the dead cat bounce. So you don't know just yet. I'd be watching to see how it reacts here. What you would want to see, which is really good to see, you've got a higher high, fantastic. Now you want to print a lower high. So you'd want to find support at around about here. Higher high, lower high. So let me go back there. Higher high, lower high. Crack that. Chef's kiss golden. But you have to be really aware that this could be a full-on dead cat bounce at the perfect 618 area, which it tends to do a dead cat bounce at. That could be that. Could be. Okay, so bear all that in mind. Will Bitcoin pump or will Bitcoin grab? No effing idea. And that would be the right thing for any person who does any of this kind of stuff to tell you. If anyone's telling you, definitely Bitcoin's pumping from here, or definitely grabbing liquidity and heading down from here, if they say 100% sure, they're lying to you or they're lying to themselves. Okay, we don't know. We go where the data is. That's what we want to see. Yes, please. I would love for the further crypto run. I would eat this up very well. Anyway, that's Bitcoin. Let's take a look at others, the altcoin market, and what it's saying too. So here's the thing, could also be a quick little liquidity grab, potentially. We haven't broken and held through 240 billion. I really needed to see to that. And we haven't broken through 220 billion. If that does that, not good. Okay, so in a trading range, you want to see that. And if we do that, bad news for altcoins in the general market. Not good at all. Do not want to break through the newly formed, the higher low, right? The higher high right there. Okay, not good. And really, I would say many people's stop losses would actually be here. This is the absolute death knell. Okay, not good if it does that. Death knell if it does that. If it breaks through about 195, 200 billion, total death knell, and then you're looking, the bottom, the floor is the limit. Don't know where it could go to. Cool. So short answer is don't know. Need to see it at least close above here at about 250 billion. Then we'll talk about 280 billion. We'll talk about higher. Not there yet. Be very careful with all of it right now. That is Bitcoin and others. Let's take a quick look. We're going to do all of crypto, and then we'll do the precious metals. Then we'll come back, I think. Let's just do that. I did mention a couple of other things on my X post. What did I mention? I did mention XRP. We'll just do a quick little, what's it up to? $2.20 for XRP, the crossover crypto between the precious metals world and the crypto world. Not a lot to say. It's still in the trading range between $2.10 and $2.60. If it drops below $2.10, not great. If it breaks above and holds $2.60, looking good. That's all you need to know. Follow me to stay updated, and I will keep you updated. I also did mention something that I'd been in a very long time ago. This is VRA. Okay, I just want to show you right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is VRA. This is Verasity. Okay, this is a darling crypto of the 2017. No, it wasn't 2017. It was the 2020 area. I think it was that 2020, 2021 time. Okay, I don't even remember. I was in it for quite a long time. It's to do with media and video and stuff like that. I've forgotten actually what it is, but I've seen it just recently. Apparently it's trending in Australia for some reason, probably because it's just had a bit of a pump. So let's take a quick look at it. It's not over any major levels that it needs to be over, but let's take a quick look because it has had a bit of a pump right here, and any Verasity holders might be interested. We'll take it from this high and this low, assuming that this is the low. Okay, we don't know. You can see, and it doesn't really line up with any major Fibonacci levels, but I'll give you the quick history. This is the KuCoin price. It's probably more historical prices than another one, but KuCoin tends to pick things up pretty quickly. You can see it's like fractions of a cent, and the high in 2021 of about 9 cents right there. We've since had a massive support level at around about 0.002. That was recently broken. So here's your big level you need to clear. Okay, so that's very obvious, and we're right bang on that resistance. So it's good to see the pump, and it's good to see it trending, but we're not over, not by any stretch of the means over major resistance. And you would pretty much call that your change of market structure. You would want to see the major change of market structure. You want to see that. Okay, if I pop onto the major high and the major low on the weekly time frame, where are we? Take it from here to here. Okay, and look, we're not yet over the major levels you would need to be over. You would want to be getting through here. Okay, you'd want to at least be touching the 0037 level. Okay, if we pop into the daily, look, here's some positives. Now, number one, positives for VRA. This could be the bottom, by the way. Okay, so let's discuss why that could potentially be the bottom. Well, you had, just like almost every crypto at the moment, you had bullish divergence where you had a lower low, and then on the RSI, for example, go away, I don't want you, far out, there you go. That thing always gets me, this thing right down here, it's so annoying. Can they get rid of that? And then you had a bullish divergence where you had a higher low on the oscillator, lower low on the price. That's set up for this move right here. You just broke this mini market structure right there. That's a good sign. Okay, great sign. Okay, and you can see it pumping up to that next level. Okay, right there. But this big one here at that 0022 level, you've got to cross over there, and very clearly, it has not held it as hasn't broken and held it as support just yet. So we need to see that, and then you'd be talking about a potential pump up to the next level where you've got some trapped money. Okay, so your trapped money here is at your roughly your 2 level, your 002 level. You've also got a lot of trapped money here as well, and that's at your, again, your 0037, 0038 level. That also lines up again with this high and this low when I showed it to you on the weekly, but I'll show it to you on the daily. For VRA, have a look into it, what it does. Okay, it's fundamentals. I remember being in it. I just don't, honestly, I don't remember the reasons why. It was something to do with video and copyright and that kind of the intellectual property. I think it was. I could be completely wrong. But right here, this could be setting it up for a lovely pump to at least test this area here. And this is the main area it needs to get over. I would suggest it's the two main areas are through here. So actually, it's right. Interestingly, isn't it interesting how it lines up with key Fibonacci levels from old highs and old lows. Okay, so it is around about here. Man, I just want my brush. So it's around about there. Yeah, at that 0.0027 level. And then that would be your major level that you need to get through. Okay, so expect major resistance right about here at 0.0038. But for example, if you're the type of person that is a risky person and you want to take that risk, hey, there's a potential that if you bought here, I wouldn't necessarily do that. But if you bought here and it pumped to here, okay, 80% gain. That's not bad. I wouldn't be getting into anything just yet, because Bitcoin isn't confirming whether it is going to continue the pump or if it's just a liquidity grab. I'd be really waiting for that. I'd also be don't look at just the individual thing, okay, the individual crypto. You have to base it against Bitcoin, and you have to base it against the others market as well, as I just showed you before. If you just clicked a time code because you want to watch this specifically, and let me just show you others. Right there, that is not confirmed. Okay, you need to see this, do that, and then that's good news for general crypto. Okay, we're not there yet. Okay, so that's why I would suggest not getting into VRA at this stage, expecting a further pump. Now, if you were smart enough to see this break, okay, you went, oh, that's a great change of market structure. I'm going to take the little play and I'm going to play it up to previous major support. Well, then you, my friend, made a tidy little 30% sum. I would suggest Well, you can either, you don't have to take profits here, okay? But I would suggest that your stop loss is probably no lower than here, right there. If it cracks below there, not good, man. Not good, okay? That would be really bad. If you start doing this and crossing through there, that's game over. The low is not in, basically. You would be making lower lows, okay, if it crosses through there. That's at about whatever it is, 0.0011, 0012. So you can keep your position open, but I would just say watch out around about here because Bitcoin and general altcoins have not confirmed that they're going to continue their pump just yet. Great to see the little pump though, the 30%. Good on you, VRA holders. If you're a long-term holder in VRA, if you're one of the big holders from back here, hey, continue to hold if you're that much of a fanboy for VRA, and that's a compliment, okay, it's not a derogatory term, then good on you. Hey, maybe you've scooped up some amazing lows. Maybe you're just so positive about VRA in the future, whenever that is. Good for you. And I do know, I think, is VRA staking still a thing? Let me know, VRA fanboys, if you're watching this. Is VRA staking on their website still a thing? Because I was staking my VRA for a long time until I, got out of it. So let me know, is that still a thing? Are you still holding from back here? Maybe you bought down here and you're still holding here and you've never sold any and, hey, you're still up. Hey, great for you. If you're a VRA fanboy, let me know in the comments or the replies right now if you are still in all that stuff. Let me know why you're so gung-ho for Verasity, VRA. That's VRA. I did mention, what else did I mention here? I did mention XRP. Oh, I did mention my old friend Toshi. Let me just quickly do that. Dex Screener. And Toshi. I am a human. Yes, I'm a real human with real human feelings. You are watching Good Morning Stackers, where I take a quick look at all the markets and I do chart requests and we talk about gold and silver and all that stuff too. We will be getting to that, I promise you. But because I started with Bitcoin, I'll end with Toshi right here. Here is Toshi on the 4-hour time frame. Sure, why not? We'll do the daily, priced in US dollars, 0004. Nothing to tell you, not a lot. We're still under the area that we need to be under. Good to see it's holding. Mostly got to do this. Okay, do that, get over there, do that, get up to 0.0007, and we'll say very clear, good sign. Cautiously optimistic while we're above 0004. We're technically above it, I guess, right now. We're in that zone. Yeah, once we get above, I'd say 00045, I'll be more cautiously optimistic. Not a lot to say. Good to see the pump from my area that I had drawn in here, that support level. We did bounce off there. Great to see. Let's just continue the trend, shall we? Onwards and upwards for Toshi. Good. Let me know if you're still in. That is Toshi. Cool. We're going to get to No, we won't do comments. We'll go straight through. And we'll do gold, silver stuff. Then we'll do some comments, check if I have any chart requests, and then we'll come back. But of course, speaking of gold, buy from Perth Bullion Exchange. perthbullion.com.au, greatest bullion dealer in all of Australia. Free shipping when you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart. Need I say more? Not really. Okay, they do weekly specials. What is their special? I think their special is still the one they've had for a little bit, actually. They haven't released a new special in the last couple of weeks, so I think it's the same one. Yeah, it is. So you can still get the 2025 2-ounce Canadian Goose coin from the Royal Canadian Mint for that $1 off per coin as well. And don't forget, if you buy 20 of them, you get free shipping Australia-wide. But also, if you're like, oh, I want one of those, but I don't want to buy 20, but how do I still get free shipping? That's fine. Buy one of those and just add a combination of 19 other things, 2 of another thing, 3 of another thing, whatever. As long as you have 20 or more items total of a mix and match, that's fine too. Instant free shipping Australia-wide, express delivery, sign-on delivery, all the good stuff you know and love from other bullion dealers, except you get it for free because you know why? You deserve it. And if no other bullion dealer is doing it, which they're not in Australia, why aren't they? Ask them that question. Why aren't you guys doing free shipping? Perth Bullion Exchange has been around as a company for a whole year now. They haven't gone out of business offering free shipping. Why can't you do it? and insert large bullion dealer name here, of which I worked for 3 of them. Okay, so they should be ponying up, in my humble opinion. And of course, I really want to show you something interesting. This is, of course, my new brand sponsor, Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, an amazing educational program, okay? But it's more to it just that. Do you want to be a better investor? You might consider signing up for Mastering Markets courses. They have a foundational 10-week course where it'll just help you just be a better investor in general. Okay, you'll learn the Dow theory principles and technical analysis foundations. Again, maybe you don't want to be a trader and do it for a living, but you just want to be better as an investor. Okay, you'll learn about cycles, you'll learn about, again, Dow theory and all that kind of stuff. Cool? Better investor, sure. If you think you want to go even further and be like, I think I want to be a trader for as a career, which it is actually a thing. You can be a trader as a career. People can sponsor you as such, and you can be a trader, right? Then you could do the 12-month course, okay? All of this costs money, of course, but also if you're like, I don't want to do a course, but I do want to be amongst the action, okay? I do want to learn stuff, but I don't want to do a full-on course. Okay, you can join the Mastering the Markets Academy, okay? It is a monthly membership thing. You don't have to do the courses, but they have a lot of great educators on there who do weekly live streams, and then you can watch the live stream back. As you know, ASX Trader, of course, who I've spoken to on the channel. I've just started delving into this one here, as I said I would. This is the time cycle forecasting with Jonathan Evans. I mean, I'm like a few minutes in, and it's already blowing my mind. He talks about time cycles and things like, and it sounds a bit woo-woo. He talks about zodiac and all that kind of stuff as well, and a whole bunch of other things, which can inform the larger cycles, which then added with technical analysis and all that. It's very fascinating, right? My mind is getting blown after just the first few minutes as well. So these are the kind of things that you can find on the paid version of the Mastering the Markets Academy. Okay, now there is a free version. And you can sign up right now. Go to academy.masteringthemarkets.com. Just sign up. Okay, you can see all the free stuff. This is where ASX Trader posts his public, stuff. There's a lot of public charts, etc. But all this other back-end paid stuff you don't get access to. If you want access to that, pay the monthly fee, and I will put a link below to the sign up. Okay, you can do that too. I'm also working on, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get some kind of special thing for Good Morning Stackers subscribers. You must be subscribed to the channel and a follower on X and be able to verify that. But I don't know. I haven't even floated it with these guys, but you never know. That could be a thing. It does pay to subscribe and follow me on my various social media. Anyway, that is Mastering the Markets. I'm going to watch the rest of this after the show today. It's bloody good so far. Anyway, that is masteringthemarkets.com. My second and new brand sponsor. Let's take a look at gold. We've got a lot of comments to get through too, but let's take a look at our wonderful precious metals, because we are stackers. We stack precious metals. We stack silver. We stack gold. We stack satoshis. We stack stocks. We stack skills and everything else. Here is gold on the weekly time frame, priced in USD. 3,239. I'll take you to the daily. We have seen a little bit more of a move down. Pardon me, I am still expecting, nothing's changed for me. I'm expecting us to get into this zone right here, 3,130, anywhere down to 2,900. Bare minimum into this zone, okay? Bare minimum. Could go lower, but somewhere in here is where you would want to find the support if, and this is an if, right? Because it's not true for everyone. If you want to see gold continue on its merry way up soon, okay, that's what you want to see. Get into here somewhere, pick wherever it is, I don't know, whatever, okay? You pick it, that's what you'd want to see. You don't want to see it break here and then do that, because then we'd be heading down further. Where down to, I don't know. I give preference to the mother of all trend lines, which is down at around about $2,700, $2,800. And you may want to see that because you just want maybe you've just learned about precious metals and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to buy up here. I want to see it go lower for a good period of time, 6 months or longer. Okay, so you can dollar cost average in, buy some when it's here, buy some when it's here, buy as it's going down. You're averaging your cost in as it goes down. Good for you. You want to see it maybe even go even lower. I'm going to give preference to not lower than 2,700, please. I don't want it to really, start freaking people out when it starts breaking below the mother of all trend lines, the one that goes back to 1980. It's a really big trend line, okay? But hey, you might want to see it go lower. That's what you'd want to see. Break through that 2,900 and then further down. Cool. Anyway, that's gold, and that's where I think it's still going into here. Bare minimum, what would make me wrong? Doing that. Cool. NSS, no SHIT, Sherlock, NSS. That's gold. Here is silver. I did post this little chart on the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum this morning and on my various social media channels. It's good to see that silver has spiked exactly at where you would want it to if you want it to continue to rise from here. From this low and this high, you pop in the Fibonacci, and then you've got the expected support zone, which is anywhere between the 0.382 and the 0.618. Gee, what do you know? Exact spike at the 0.382. That's a good sign. Cool. We just need to do this thing. Do that. Golden chef's kiss. Break $35. Mwah. Onwards and upwards we go to the all-time high, $250. That will be incoming, I would say, this year in 2025. What we do at the $50 all-time high, which would be the third time we've ever gotten there, could find a little bit of resistance there, who knows, but over time we know that silver is going to break that for sure. Triple tops usually aren't a thing. It's the only asset in all of history, as far as I'm aware. Well, it's the only asset in since 1980 that hasn't broken its all-time high. Every other asset that existed in 1980 that exists today has broken its 1980 high. Okay, pick a stock, pick a whatever it is that existed in 1980. It broke it at least at one point. Maybe it's lower now. Maybe, I don't know what you'd be looking at there, but except silver. Why? Why just silver? It's the only asset. Why? Interesting, isn't it? Triple tops usually aren't a thing. We're going to be breaking this. We'll be going to triple digit silver in the next few years for sure. No doubt about it, barring black swan events and massive market manipulation and, the powers that be. Okay, that is a thing. Okay, there's a small percentage chance of that, but I think they can't keep it down for that long. So once we break there, looking really good, we just need to break that $35 level. Cool. And as I said, good to see it finding that little support there. Gives a nice little credence to do that. You break that though, break that, and then, do that and break $30.50. Yeah, no, probably heading down further. And watch out for, not that I'm saying it's going to happen, but maybe a 10% chance of somewhere down into the $24 region. Okay, that would be max pain. That would freak everyone out, and you need to shake people out. People are a little bit too confident here. And in general, you do get shaken out beforehand. So I'm not saying it's about a 10% chance, but the shakeout isn't surprising. Okay, I wouldn't be absolutely shocked. I'd be like, yeah, par for course. That is silver. Platinum doing its thing. Don't worry about it. When it breaks $1,010 roughly, we'll talk Turkey. If it breaks $940 roughly, we'll talk lower. It's in a trading range. That's all you need to know. Rhodium doing its thing, hasn't broken 620, needs to do that. Then we'll talk about higher. I'm watching Rhodium for a setup. Okay. By the way, this is a 1/10th tracker of actual rhodium price. Okay, so when I say 540, it's actually 5,400 per rhodium spot price. Okay, but this particular tracker is tracking it at 1/10 of the price, and it's really the only way to invest properly in rhodium unless you want to buy physical, and you don't want to buy physical rhodium here in Australia for the reasons I've said before: fees, GST, terrible buyback rates. Okay, so clear 620. And then we'll talk higher prices from there. That's rhodium. Gold to silver ratio is still at around about 100. There's probably a bias to the downside, so I'd expect probably the gold to silver ratio to drop a little bit further. Down to where, don't know, but it looks like Gold to silver ratio will have a bit more of a drop coming soon. Okay, we've been extremely overvalued here, and it's probably set for more of a dip. Watch out for, support level, whatever. Gold to silver ratio is going to continue to go down at least for the next, I'd say, week or so. Cool. Anything else you need to know? No. I think that's everything, people. We'll take some chart requests. We'll do some comments, and then we'll have some fun. There we go, right there. Okay, let's get to all of your comments, my wonderful, funky people, and thanks for watching the show. We'll go backwards and see. Hope you didn't break your son's mug. No, I just swapped it around because I was starting with crypto today. So I swapped between the crypto one and my daddy mug. Yes, exactly. Now, this is open to this is the question time. You can ask me questions about anything you want. You can ask for a chart request. I will give preference to super chats. You can ask me about precious metals. You can ask me about what it was like working in the precious metals industry for 11 years over 3 major bullion dealers. You can ask me anything like that. You can ask me health and wellness questions. As you know, I'm a long-term carnivore. Okay, I basically eat 0 carbs. I've had my cheat days in the past, but since the start of this year, I've been incredibly strict. Couple of little cheaties, couple of little ones, but back on the wagon, feeling great and all that kind of stuff. Ask me about health, wellness, whatever you want, man. All the stuff I'm into. You can ask me about my extracurricular activity, which you know I do. If you don't know and you joined the channel recently, I'm a sports enthusiast in the pew pew. Okay, I do that as a competition. I'm not a pro. I've been doing it for a good number of years, and I enjoy it, and I'm not bad at it. I'm not an amateur anymore, but you wouldn't call me a pro. Definitely not an amateur though. Let's see. Ask me anything you like, people. Morning, Joe. Yes, we already did. Like and share. That's most importantly. Can you hit the like button for me right now? And I'd love you to share this too when you get a chance. G'day, mateys. Jason Razana. Knackers. Hi, old GMS, living out of Mansea. You've been watching this whole time. Hope you all had a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Yes, I hope you do. Let's see. Posh Sloth. Hey, y'all. Rolls Royce. Okay, so we've had a chart request. Rolls Royce Holdings. PLC ADR. Thank you. Take a car. Be safe. Maximus is here. Silver at 61.8. Oh, from the 2011 high. Is it now? I'll double check that. It might be. A monthly close of 35. Yes, at the fib 61.8 would be the strong signal of go time. Yes, 35 is the big level. Until then, there's a definite possibility of rejecting the 61.8. Okay. I'm sure you're correct about that, and I'm sure I've had that drawn in before. Give me 1 second, and I'll get rid of all of you, and I'll get rid of you and you and you too. Let's see, go to the monthly, go to 2011. I've definitely had the 2011 Fibonacci in before. It'll be down here somewhere. Ha! Gee, what do you know? Right there. And yep, that's exactly right. There is. That's at the 35. Gee, isn't that interesting where we're finding resistance at the 61.8. From an old high and an old low, okay, right there, you tend to find that this is the zag zone between the 0.382 and the 0.618. And once you get through the 0.618, which is why I've been, and many other people have been saying it's 35, it's 35, it's 35, right there. Isn't it interesting how that and that line up perfectly? If you remember, I did tell you guys, and I'll just harp on silver for a little bit again. I did mention a while ago how, and look, and this hindsight is 2020. Okay, let me just quickly show you. I did mention a while ago how, and I promise you this was a thing. It was a thing, and you'll just have to trust me. But when I started learning more about Fibonacci and all that, I went, geez, is there a way that you can potentially pick lows in prices before they happen? And I thought to myself, gee, okay, what I would want to see is if it's a major macro Fibonacci, okay, low, they tend to line up with levels along the way. And so what I did, and not back here in 2015, it was way further forward, okay, way further forward. I've forgotten exactly when it was, but it was way further forward. Pick a, let me go 1 times. I'll go 5 times. Let's go that. No, okay. We'll just play that out and then we'll pause it. Never mind. Okay, at some point I went like this. I went, okay, if I lined up these Fibonacci levels right here, okay, now where would I have to line it up? We were definitely, we were definitely at that, already at that 14 level, okay? And I went, if we were lower, this is much further on. We're talking about 2020, I think I did it in. No, 2019, something like that. And I went, okay, if we're going to see lower prices, I need to see these line up. So I went, okay, well, that's already been done. And that's a low. And they already line up. So I need to look for somewhere lower. Let's go. Let me have a look where it could be. Where could we find, a potential low? Oh, okay. Let's go and do that. And it tended, I found right here. So see that 38.2. So you see that 15 level right there. And see how that doesn't line up the 38.2. The 0.382 doesn't line up with this infamous $26 level. And that also doesn't line up all that well. Then I went, okay, I'm going to line it up with the 38.2 right there. So this there with those spikes right there. I went, okay, oh, that's interesting to me right about here. That's an interesting move. Oh, right, okay, why is that? Well, because that lines up perfectly now with the 0.618. That lines up perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that looks like a really interesting area of confluence. I swear to God to you, I swear to you that I did do this. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. So I went, oh, okay, that's an interesting, that'd be a load of about $11.70, like something like that. Okay, that's interesting. I'll just keep that in the back of my mind. Then forward, jump to the real-time chart. Bang. Okay. Forward to the real chart. There we go. Yes, there. Just stop. Stop. That's not what I want. Excuse me. I want it right there. Great. Fuck off. Sorry, guys. No. Yep. Okay. Stop. There we go. Right there. And out of interest, where did we find the exact bottom at? Gee, right here. What a random spot to do it at $11.70. I nailed that in hindsight, in foresight. I nailed it, but it was just a test. I didn't place a trade or anything. I just, after the fact, I realized, oh, SHIT, that went to that exact level that I pondered about a while ago because it was matching up nicely and confluent, okay? So it's very interesting how Fibonacci works out. There's a potential that you could do that with other assets. It won't always work though, but I just did find that really interesting. But yes, you are right, 61.8, $35. Cool. Sorry for that long rant, but I thought that very interesting. Okay. A monthly close above. Yes, absolutely. You want a monthly close above. Maximus says signed up to the MTM Academy. So far, it's been brilliant. Did you sign up to the paid membership? Good on you, Maximus. Reach out to me. Thanks, Joe. Easter cheater. Yes, I was an Easter cheater. You're actually right. Exactly. Okay. Here's a question. Jason Rosana asks, thoughts on... I'm not even going to say that word. Thoughts on that thing for healing? Short answer is I don't know. That's my thoughts, honestly. I've heard the cases for, I've heard the cases against, and I'm the type of person, if you had have asked me about 10 years ago, if the thing that happened in 2020 happened, 5 years previous, I would have said, oh yeah, look at this study. Oh yeah, look at this study. This proves X. Either way, now 10 years later, I've learned more about the nature of reality, and I've learned about science and the scientific method. There's a difference between the scientific method and science. Okay, difference there. The scientific method, the greatest invention in history. Okay, it's why we are where we are right now with this scientific method. However, science is people. People are governed by natural human incentives. Okay, so science itself doesn't lend itself to this thing definitely being true or this thing not being true, because who's paying for the study? Are there vested interests? All that kind of stuff. So short answer is, I don't know. Silver Ruger said, where did you buy your 10-ounce Pew Pew? Oh, I thought you said PBE, but Ricky said he never had any. I don't own a 10-ounce Pew Pew. I have the it wasn't a 10 ounce. I have a 2 ounce. It's a replica of a 357, and I have a 9mm replica, which is a 1 ounce. I think it was something like that. I don't have a 10 ounce. Never owned a 10 ounce pew pew. I have a real pew pew. I have a real one, but not a 10 ounce silver pew pew. And Ricky did sell the smaller versions of the pew pew rounds, but I don't think he has any more, as far as I'm aware. Also note from 2011, it corrected, then returned to the golden pocket. Yes, rejected, correct. Therefore, the probability of rejection is much lower. Yes. Jason, tests can be manipulated for the results wanted. Exactly right on both sides. On both sides. I'm going to recommend someone to you, and I might quickly do that chart request for Neil, I think it was. We might take a quick look at that. Please keep your questions going about anything to do with anything I've just said. We can talk about anything we want. But I'm going to recommend you guys look into the work of Professor Bart Kay, B-A-R-T, Bart K, K-A-Y. Now, he's a huge proponent of a hyper-carnivore diet. Okay, so take all that with a grain of salt, whatever. But he's actually had a 20-year or longer history in the science research field. Okay, so he knows how all of this stuff works. He knows the pitfalls to look for. He knows all the traps when reading a study and all that. And even he, as a scientific researcher, being in that, he has a bunch of degrees. He has exercise physiology degree, a physiology degree. He has a bunch of degrees, but he worked in that scientific research field for 20 years. And he goes, it's completely rife with corruption, this, that, and the other, bought and paid for. You can't really trust any study. There has to be a whole bunch of check marks that you go through, and most of them don't go through that. Okay, so even he says, look, correlation is not causation. Of course, we all know that, and he can pretty much pick apart any study on anything and go, oh yeah, well that was paid for, but oh yeah, but they did that on mice, and mice aren't human. This, that, and the other. So he's really interesting to follow. I would say Professor Bart K, if you can find him on YouTube, and he talks a lot about carnivore, which is one of my favorite subjects because I haven't had breakfast and I'm going to have a couple of juicy steaks to break my fast today after I enjoy my non-fluoridated salted water. Final questions, and we shall get... Oh, no, sorry. Chart request. Rolls-Royce Holdings. I'll do that in the next 5 minutes and we'll get out of here. Rolls-Royce Holdings, PLC ADR. All right, give me 1 second. PLC ADR. Not a crypto. PLC ADR. No. Does it say Lloyd's or Rolls-Royce? I'm going to go... Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce. Or these were separate ones that you were asking for, were they? Let me double check. Rolls-Royce Holdings, PLC ADR. Okay, let me go back. Rolls-Royce Holdings. Yeah, it's the same. It's that one. Okay, Rolls-Royce Holdings. That's on the London Stock Exchange. We've got Rolls-Royce. Do we have an ASX version? PLC ADRs. Okay, yeah. You want it in the Stuttgart Stock Exchange? I don't think you do. Do you want it Rolls-Royce PLC, the OTC version, the American version, the London version? Let's do the American version. Can we do that? Let's do that on the stock OTC. Let's do that. Let's take a quick look. Let me just see if there's another good version. Rolls-Royce. I'll do the London Stock Exchange just for S&Gs, and then I'll take... Oh, we have it on the NASDAQ? Rolls-Royce... No, okay. No, cool. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, this is on the London Stock Exchange because it's been around for a lot longer. I think we're going to have to do this one, people. Yeah, we're going to do this one. Cool. All right, let's take a look at it. Here is Rolls-Royce Holdings on the London Stock Exchange. Rolls-Royce. Okay, why not? This has been a request from Neil from the channel wants me to take a quick look at it. If this is the correct one, then let me know. If it's not the correct one, Neil, do let me know. But it's Rolls-Royce, okay? And if there's a different version you need me to look at, but this is the one that goes all the way back to, well, 1995. We do like historical data. Cool. Let's see what we see. Geez, Rolls-Royce is pretty bloody high at the moment. Let's see. It opened in 1995 at £52. Okay, this is GBX. Okay, let's assume this is pounds, like London Stock Exchange. We went up to £100 roughly in the early 2000s. We went down to £22 roughly. We had a beautiful move there all the way up to £450. Then COVID, that'll be the COVID low. Shoot, can you imagine buying Rolls-Royce at £34 back then? And since then, £770 roughly. Okay, this is amazing. Can we use any Fibonacci to see if it lines up with any levels of confluence? Let's do that and see. So I'm going to take it from this high and this low. Let's just see if anything, it might not, okay, but let's see if there's any levels of confluence there. Yeah, there is. Okay, you can see that pretty kind of clearly, I guess. You can see right here, big level of support at the 0.786. We broke the previous all-time high, so we broke down through it right here, but then it settled around the 0.786. You can see an overshoot. So we sailed through the 2.618, the 4.236. We broke through, but gee, what do you know? Where did it find exact support at? At that level right there. Isn't it interesting? That's so random, isn't it? Why would that be? It's just an old high and an old low Fibonacci levels. It's amazing how that works out, isn't it? And, yes, you can call it a bit of a woo-woo or whatever, but I think it holds very well. And gee, exact resistance here. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. We also found major support here at the Fib 500 level right there. That does line up with major support. And since then, we have broken through. And when we broke through just here, where did we have that big spike? Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a big spike down to £575, and we found exact support roughly at the 6.854 Fibonacci, but it probably lines up with other Fibonacci. So let me get rid of that for you, and I'll probably take it from a different high and a different low. And I'll tell you the short answer right now. It's looking pretty overstretched, I will say. It's looking overstretched. It's extremely overvalued. It's been extremely overvalued for a good period of time, and that's a massive run up, okay? I think something's probably going to give on Rolls-Royce pretty soon. If I take it from this high and this low, right there, you can see that level matches up very perfectly at the 0.786. Look at that major area of resistance at the 0.236. Okay, and then we broke through, and so around about the 1.618 level. So on the monthly, it's looking extremely overvalued. If I show you on the weekly, do we notice any kind of bearish divergence? Yes, we do. Okay, you can see pretty clearly, at least using the relative strength index, there's a definite bearish divergence happening. That is where you have a higher high and you have a lower high right there. So that is most definitely bearish divergence for Rolls-Royce. Okay, you have since seen then that bearish move. So could that be the end of the bearish divergence? Yeah, it could be. So maybe some people noticed it here back in March of this year, just in early March of this year, they noticed the bearish divergence off here and they said, that's going to have a bit of a dip. They placed their trades accordingly, or maybe they short traded it and then seen that price dip. I wouldn't say that Rolls-Royce is out of the woods necessarily just yet from a further dip, but let's take a look a little bit further in. We'll go to you're getting close. We'll go to the daily. Okay. So that could be the bearish divergence dip, and it could be over. Let's see. You want to take it from this high and this low. And what we notice is, okay, look, here's some good news for Rolls-Royce. It is now over out of the zag zone, out of the zone that you would want to see it get out of, and that's out of there. That's good news, actually. So you are above that level, so there's a potential for Rolls-Royce to continue higher. It is a potential there. I will take very good note, though, is that we are, as I showed you before, on the monthly time frame. Man, that's really extended. Okay. Now, the party could continue for Rolls-Royce. You can continue creeping higher. This can spend a lot of time and extremely overvalued. Yeah, you could go higher. But look, I would say if you're looking to get into Rolls-Royce now for, the next 10, 20 years of appreciation in price, I wouldn't expect that. Okay, it looks like the momentum is starting to get to its top. Again, you can tick over here. You can do this on the relative strength index, for example. And again, this is, you don't just use this as your one indicator, but the price can still be creeping up as that's ticking over. The problem is, though, you're losing momentum, so you're not going to get as explosive moves as you were down here. You might continue, but you might have some trapped money. You might have, like, for example, you might get another 40%. Okay, but there could be other things in that time which are more highly undervalued that you could be getting in that could pump higher for in that same amount of time. So there might be a bit of opportunity cost being in Rolls-Royce. Could be wrong, but I like that. That's a good monthly spike. Look at that. That's actually quite a lovely monthly spike. So yeah, you could continue higher, but over the longer term, man, that's really overstretched. Okay, that's all I have to say for Rolls-Royce. Could go higher, but yeah, looking quite overstretched at the moment. But good luck to anyone that is in Rolls-Royce. We are at the 10:30 mark. I will quickly check if there are any other further questions. Otherwise, we'll get out of here. Thanks, Joe. Good info. Let me move that. Good info all round for precious metals and health. No worries. I'm really big into the health. Bart K can get a bit cray-cray. In terms of Bart K's, his personality, he does the grumpy old man thing on purpose as his shtick. But in terms of cray-cray, I don't think he gets crazy. Not in terms, he's very well grounded in terms of his logic of reasons why for things. He's all about the scientific method and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he can get grumpy old man, but it is a persona on purpose. I would love to look at uranium mines, please and thank you. I don't probably have any more time today, Posh, but thank you for asking. Maybe we'll come back to uranium next week, I think. I think I've probably got to get out of here. But he is interested in picking faults in people's arguments. Yeah, because people have terrible arguments, so he picks the faults in them, and that's why he makes reaction videos against, a vegan or a this or a that, and he picks holes because he's had 20 years of picking holes in studies because he's come from that scientific research background. Let's see. URA potentially looks to put in a liquidity grab. Yeah, could do. Okay, so possible, but we will take a look at uranium miners, I would say, on Monday, I think, because, ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Good Morning Stackers for the whole week. It's Friday, the 2nd of May. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Grab your tasty beverages. We will do the final synchronized slurp, and we will dance it out. And I hope you have an amazing weekend, whatever you're doing. Are you playing sport? Are you hanging with your family? Do you have a band rehearsal like I do? Yeah. For the U2 show, Achtung Baby, where I am a Bono in a U2 tribute. Yes, coming to a place near you. We are going to be in Sydney, in New South Wales, a couple of weeks' time, Newcastle, and then Sydney. Newcastle at Flamingos, and then Sydney on the Saturday at the Workers' Town, at the Workers' Club, Blacktown Workers. We'll be there as well. Do you want to find out more? Send me an email. And you can find out more. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to lower that, and I'm going to mute that. Did I mute it? Yeah, I did, because I don't want that to come through. Grab your tasty beverages, people. Let's dance it out, because you have watched.
Good morning, Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Good morning, Stack.
It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do that.
Synchronize.
3, 2, 1, go.
Now we're on the move.
Thanks, people. Have an amazing week, whatever you're doing. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. Stay safe, stay informed. Keep stacking whatever you're stacking. Have a good one. See you Monday. Bye.